Times, they are changing in academia, but is the next generation well served? Well, we've got a couple of millennials joining us live now to discuss. Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov and the media director for Campus Reform, Cabot Phillips. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, I want to start with this dispute on Harvard's campus. There is a law professor there who has been well esteemed, well loved, and tonight he's in trouble, apparently, because of a client he's decided to represent. He's joined the legal team of Harvey Weinstein, and there are a number of students who have started a petition to get rid of him now. They say, do you really want to one day accept your diploma from someone who, for whatever reason, professional or personal, believes it's okay to defend such a prominent figure at the center of the Me Too movement? The developments of Dean Sullivan's professional work are not only upsetting, but deeply trauma-inducing. Jessica, they say they don't want him to take certain clients.
Well, this dean actually represented Aaron Hernandez before he represented Harvey Weinstein. And last time I checked, criminal defense attorneys defend criminals. Now, I think you can have a conversation about the type of clients that he's taking on, and it sounds like he is open to that conversation. But when you say trauma-inducing and the person that you're discussing has not been credibly accused of sexual assault themselves, it seems a little ridiculous, especially for graduate students. And if some of these are law students themselves who don't seem to really understand what it is that you go to law school for in the first place.
Yeah, and Cabot, I mean, I know this is the kind of thing you cover all the time, but we think within the last couple of years there are times when schools, including graduate level programs in law schools, have told students if they're too traumatized by some political event, they don't even have to take exams or come to class.
This is the growing trend of students manufacturing this idea that they are physically unsafe by the presence of people they don't like. Rather than saying, how can I learn from this person's experiences? How can I grow in my own understanding? They simply try to say, I don't want them here because they make me feel unsafe. Two things can be true in this situation. One, Harvey Weinstein can be a horrible human being, which he is. Two, he can also be deserving of legal defense. This is a system that we have. It's important we have defense attorneys that are being willing to do these jobs, and they're not enviable, but they are still an important part of our legal system. You shouldn't lose your job simply because you're doing your job.
Okay, let's go to California now, across the pond. Well, not the pond, but to the other pond, to the other big one, the Pacific.
It feels like a different country.
It does feel sometimes like a different country over there, but to the West Coast, let's go now, where there has been a bill introduced there in the legislature that says there will be no student dissections of any animals in K through 12. It's not good for kids, and it's traumatizing. PETA says this: cutting up the corpses of dead animals for a crude biology lesson should be a thing of the past. It also wastes school funds, exposes students and educators to formaldehyde and formalin, a known carcinogen, and deprives students of an education using advanced simulation methods that studies show are superior to cutting up animals. Jessica, I didn't like doing this in high school. Had to do it or it would have tanked my biology grade, but not anymore in California.
Well, you can always opt out on moral grounds. That's something that's been available to students for a very long time. From the article that I read about this, it doesn't seem like this bill is out of committee at this point, and it might just be a rogue legislator advocating for this. But when they say that PETA alleges they can do this on a computer simulation and that's going to be better off, we have hopefully a bunch of future doctors coming up the pike who are not going to be able to operate on a computer. They're going to have to actually touch people who have the same organs that we find in these animals when you're doing the dissections, and you learn a lot from it. So I personally was never forced to do this. You can morally opt out, but I don't think it's something we should be removing from the curriculum altogether.
Cabot?
I was first in line every year during dissection.
You're
I still
the one.
remember
that explains
squid.
A lot about you, Cabot.
That's what I remember from class, though. Really, truly, it was a way to make science and biology interesting for many students. I'm sure a lot of people at home, they can still remember the dissection courses they took in class. I think it's a way to get young people engaged. I think it's ridiculous to try and do away with this. Are we going to start emptying out aquariums in the science rooms and the ant farms because that might be taking away from animal rights? And on a serious note, though, I think it does say something about the state of our political discourse when there are people that have no problem with the dissection of live human beings, babies, but do have a problem with the dissection of dead animals, and I think that's something that needs to be discussed.
All right, Cabot, we were having a lovely millennial evening, and now you have gone to abortion, which you know very much upsets me.
We can have a lovely discussion and also bring it serious at the same time.
This is going to be a whole other discussion, but we didn't get to another case. I want to tease for people because we might do it tomorrow night. Something at Duke University, a speech got canceled because the title of the speech, which was "Only the Vision of God Can Make Someone Happy," was triggering. We didn't get to that, but I think that's a good case. We'll try to get to that one tomorrow. Jessica and Cabot, good to see you both.
Thanks a lot, Shannon.